Good afternoon once again. We just want to make sure that you're aware that we are now stippling, showing you how to stipple to show tonal values. So I just want to remind you that first of all, you're doing a section of the kettle. So make sure you draw an accurate picture of the kettle itself. Make sure it's as accurate as you can because you're getting a grade for your drawing. And then now we're going to get started with stippling, which is a gradual tonal values of dots. So it's a series of dots to show value. So we're going to show our lightest value going into a dark to the lightest value going into our darker value to show the form of the kettle. So I've done this section already where I got this area to give you an idea of how it should look. Right now I'm going to go to this area right here. It's a sphere, and I'm going to shade that so that you can see how you can do the sphere. Now I drew it with a pencil. I went ahead and I drew my lid with an elliptical shape. Then I drew the shape of the kettle, and then I went ahead and I drew the kettle itself. So I just wanted to make sure that you know it's only a section. And now we're going to start the stipple. So right now we're going to focus on mainly getting the dark values first. I tend to work out of my dark values. Some people do vice versa. I would start my dark value on the sphere, and in the area of the dark value, you're going to put a cluster of dots. Keep looking at the form. That is very important, that you look at the form, and as you get to the lighter values, you make your dots a little bit more spaced out. Okay, and now this is a sphere, so I'm going to go around this side, get the shape of my sphere, and then I'm going to go ahead. This is the area that you hold, you open up the kettle, and then you lighten up the dots, similar to when you're shading, but now you're going to use the dots to do the same thing. So you're going to get in there to make it look like what you see. Keep an eye on the object as well. That's very important, that you show exactly what you're seeing. You're going to do a stippling of the kettle that you have at home. All right? Yours is similar to mine. That's fine. But I want you to do one of what you have at home, because everybody's going to have their own individual items to draw. So I want you to make sure that you are drawing from direct observation. Then if I come now, I notice there's a shadow casting in this area right up under here. So right up under here, I would start out with my darker value. I'm going to follow my item around in here. It's a little light, but the shadow cast kind of over here. So I'm going to get a big area of a cluster of dots coming around in this area, as you can see, and it's around the opening. So I'm going to get it in a rounded shape, and then I'm going to go up close here. There's a little metal piece on the kettle right up in there, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get that in there. Then I'm going to join that in with this. I'm going to put my dots a little close together to create this shadowy effect, because the whole object is dark. Obviously, I'm going to put the lighter dots up in here. I'm going to go in here, and then you will cluster your dots to get the dark value. Try to keep it to dots and do not make it into dashes. So try your best to stick to the dots. I've been noticing that some of you, this technique is going to have to be practiced a little bit more. If you look around this rim here, there's a series of dots. There's a dark value. It's a very thin area of the darker value coming around in here to show the form of the kettle. And then as you come out to the form, you're going to lighten it up. So this is just to give you a little idea on how you should be shading and how you should be showing value using your. So now that the rounded shape of the kettle is coming this way, I'm going to continue with there. Remember now there's a shadow on this part. So I'm going to darken this area to show the shadow. But as it goes out into this area, it's as you go into the lighter area, then it will lighten. If you're not too happy about your dark value, then you go in there and you add more. You make the area a little, you make the dots a little closer together. And then you're going to continue to shade this until you get it looking like the form of the kettle itself. I was trying to show you the shadow that is coming around here. It's a rounded shadow, and then it's in there. Now, what about this metal piece in here? This metal piece has value too. So it isn't as dark. So now you're going to do a little thinner area of dark. I see there's a shadow coming across here from the handle. So I'm going to get that in there. So I'm going to treat that a little slightly different. I'm going to treat that a little slightly different than I treated the other part, just to show that's a metal area. So I'm not going to treat that as harsh. So I might even do my dots a little bit thinner up in that area, so to show a little difference and variation on what the form looks like. And so I'm going to treat this area a little thinner, and then I'm going to come. Now, normally people would start the whole drawing with dots. Because we are trying to improve on our technique, and some of you are not so fluent with our technique, I am giving you an opportunity to draw with your pencil first, and then you can come in and put the dots, and of course afterwards you can go and erase your pencil line after you finish. So as you notice, this area I'm treating slightly different than the other areas, okay? Because it is, and then of course there's dark values coming up in this area. So I'm just showing you a portion of it. I'm trusting that you're going to go ahead and you're going to produce a wonderful stippling drawing of your kettle. And remember, in the darker values, and then as it come out to the lighter values, you would space it out. And you would see a transition with dots now, where you come from one value to the next. Okay, to the entire thing is really just form in space. So really at the end of the day, we should see the form of the kettle and in the space around it. So we're not too worried about shadow, because we only see shadow onto the form. So I want you to continue on until you're finished. Thank you. You're doing a great job so far.